Welcome to it, sports fans. The MKT Show, Wednesday, the 18th of November, 2020, in the year that is COVID. What a lockdown year it has been. Hey, this technology thing, it's a new thing. It's been interesting. You got to adjust these technology things. Anyway, we eventually got it together, 20 past 8. Two topics tonight. Chelsea, can they win the league? Read lots of articles. Let you know what I think. And then VAR, tell you why I've had enough. I mean, I said it again. Called it out from the very beginning. VAR, not for me. Give you my reasons. By the way, people need to stop texting me or letting me know that Germany lost 6-0. No one cares. So I just want to let you know, international football is useless and meaningless to me. It's about as meaningful as one-day cricket or T20 cricket. I do not care. I honestly don't care. I don't even have... Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, woke up in the morning, then it was all over my timeline and people texting me and, I don't care. International football, what a waste. And now there's just guys getting coronavirus. I mean, if you didn't watch the show yesterday, I said, what are FIFA doing? What are we doing? Coronavirus, it's Mo Salah, it's El Neni, it's now... there's a few people from South America that are COVID. What a mess. What a mess. But we're getting back to the real deal this week. Serie A, La Liga, and then, of course, the king of them all, Premier League. Let's go. NFL is back. It is rolling, and it's getting to money time as well in that world. If you're not in the NFL world, get in the NFL world. Great sport, great league, great entertainment. They get it. They do. Listen, nobody does it better than the Premier League, but the Americans do pageantry better than anyone on earth. And they got crowds back, by the way. They got some crowds back, and college football has got full crowds back. Full crowds, 50, 80,000 packing down. As they say in the SEC, we do it different down here. We do it different down here. The SEC is different down here. It is different. Let's get into it. Chelsea. So reading a few articles about Chelsea, possible contenders, things are going well. So let me tell you something. When you look at movie stars, right? You look at those couples, you think that should work. Ambitious, powerful, talented. They're in the same industry, so they understand what the other person's about. Hey, that should work. It should work. It's awesome. Symmetrically, they're handsome or beautiful beyond imagination. That should work. That's perfect. Here's the problem with that is that romance and winning are actually really bad for one another. Because especially when it becomes about business, is you cannot romanticize numbers, right? There will always come a sharp end. It's not like a marriage with your husband or wife. If your husband's just a person who's late all the time and they cost you 15 minutes all the time, you don't fire them, right? You don't fire them. Your movie doesn't, or your marriage doesn't lose numbers at the box office, right? So numbers and romance don't go together, actually. Bottom line and romance do not go together. So I understand people going, oh, Roman Abramovich, he's brought back the greatest British player to ever play for Chelsea. This is going to be miraculous. He's one of their own. Surely it'll work. Not so much. Romance and winning don't go well together. Always believed it, and I live it out to this day. I don't care how you feel. Listen, I've had a couple of businesses, written a couple of documentaries. I've run enough budgets now. I don't care how you feel. The numbers do not care how you feel. Roman Abramovich, they look like a Will and Jada situation. He's beautiful, she's beautiful, he's talented, she's talented. That should be awesome. It is not awesome. It is not awesome. And let me tell you how I know that. The statistics tell me Roman Abramovich loves his players. He doesn't love his managers. And Lampard, I hope he's not in denial, he's a manager now. He might still think, because we know very well now, for those who have been in touch, they got Mourinho fired first go around. Terry, Drogba, Lampard. We know that. That's out now, that they were sick of Mourinho and his ways. They'd won titles now, and they thought they deserved a little bit more respect. And Mourinho said, no, sir. No, sir. Everyone's going to come at this time, and we're playing defense, or let's say pragmatic football. And Lampard and Terry and Drogba, as I told you, 2 seasons, that wears people down. Mourinho got to them. They went upstairs to daddy. Abramovich said, I love my stars. And often with billionaires that own clubs, they want to be friends with the players. Often with billionaires, not all the time, it's people that never made it early in life and often not sportsmen, right? It's often intellects, it's often nerdy people. Abramovich, nerd, business guy, business guru, hardworking guy, probably never got picked in his A team at school. He wants to be friends with Didier Drogba, who wouldn't want to be. What Frank Lampard needs to understand now is he's Jose Mourinho. I don't think he gets that, and some of his actions. It's 18 months into it. I still don't know what Frank Lampard's best system is. So forget about players, right? Look at all the great managers. They come in, and let's look at in the Premier League, the last two, Pep and Klopp, right? First season, you lay the platform. Okay, by the end of the first season, we know what your system is: 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 3-5-2, and what that's going to look like, what your spine's going to look like, and what you're going to have to replace. Right? We knew that with Pep straight away. He went and spent 180 million pounds on fullbacks. Okay, now we know what he needs. He needs fullbacks to invert. We need Fernandinho. He needs Company. He needs Laporte. And he needs a goalkeeper to play Edison. We go and replace that. And then the rest, everything's icing on the cake after that. That's what he needed. We could see that's early on. Bravo wasn't going to work. And whatever else they had in Mangala, that wasn't going to work. Klopp. Pretty clear what he needs. He's going to need his fullbacks, and then he's going to need his three forwards to be the core of the team. The rest, make it functional. Doesn't really matter. People say Van Dijk. I'm not as hot as everybody on Van Dijk, but okay, whatever. It's clear with Klopp early on. He had to get right back, he had to get left back right, and then he had to get Salah. He had to get Mane some help. He went and got Mo Salah, and the rest is history. Then he got Firmino. Good night. That was very clear. That was clear after the first season. With Frank Lampard, I still don't know what he needs. He spent 230 million pounds. He's got maybe three of the most talented youngsters in world football. And I still feel like he needs more because I'm not sure what his system is. Because I'm not sure he got his dream goalkeeper. I'm not sure he's got his dream centre-back pairing. And I'm certainly not sure that he doesn't like... what I'm sure of is he doesn't like N'Golo Kante. That's clear now, and it's strange because he wants the pivot to be able to play. That's why he played Jorginho for so long, until it's just like, okay, Conte's the best defensive mid in the world. But I'm still not sure what he's doing. My point is this. Everybody's saying Chelsea's going to win the league. Forget it. Forget it. You've got to be pragmatic to win the league, number one. Number two, you've got to be ruthless. And there is nothing about Lampard that's shown me ruthless. Kept playing Kepa, kept playing Jorginho, keeps playing Tammy Abraham when it's clear that Giroud is better than him. It's clear. Because last year, how do I know that? It's not just because I feel that way. Last year, when Lampard needed to win and get into the top four and go ahead in the FA Cup, he turned to Giroud. Right? Well, the problem with Tammy Abraham is he doesn't give you anything outside of pace. He's tall for nothing, can't jump. He's not an aerial threat, by the way. He's not a good finisher, and he can't hold the ball up. In statistics and science, we talk about substance over form. Stop romanticizing. I don't know if Lampard thinks Tammy Abraham's Drogba. I'm not sure what's going on there. They look similar, tall, big, not so strong in Tammy Abraham's case. But he can't cut it at the top level. Problem is, most teams that Chelsea will play the low block. And if he can't hold it up, it's Romelu Lukaku part 2. No first touch, doesn't bring other players into the game, and the only thing he's useful for is running off the shoulder. Decent finishing, but I'm afraid at the top level, I expect you to be able to finish anyway. Chelsea to win the league, forget it. You've got to be kidding me. And I'm a Chelsea diehard. Top 4, no problem. I said Chelsea would come second in the league. I think Man City are going to come back from late November, December. I think you're going to see the full Man City unleashed. Everyone's coming back now, and that Ferran Torres is a problem. But I cannot believe some of these articles even suggesting that Chelsea are going to win the league. I've said to you, captain, manager, owner. Chelsea got captain C. He's old. I mean, Azpilicueta doesn't play. Silva, touch and go. He can play one game a week. That's going to be a problem. And I never judge a player in England before December. So I'm not all in on Silva yet. I've seen problems. Problems with the pace and the physicality might catch up with him. So no, they're not going to win the league. And the problem is, like I said, you got to have captain A, coach A, and ownership A. The only thing Chelsea have this season, after everything I've seen, is the ownership is A+. Deep pockets and dead quiet. I love that in ownership. What do you need? I'll give you the rope to either hang yourself or pull yourself up. I've said Roman Abramovich is the best owner in Premier League history. Deep pockets, I get the hell out the way. Right? There is no player he won't try and get for you. But once he gets that for you, now it's on you. I don't want to hear excuses. And for Frank Lampard, I'm still hearing too many excuses. And now there's no time. There's no time now. You got to go. You've had 18 months. And what's the system? What's the direction? I don't know. 3-4-3, 3-5-2. Is it about the wing backs? The centre mids, I'm still not sure. It's still Kovacic, Conte. Where's Havertz meant to play? And now Lampard has no excuses. He bought all the players. Listen, you can't blame a chef if you buy food from certain food stores and he needed 5-star organic stuff and then he makes a shoddy meal. When he picks all the food, picks the fruit, picks the suppliers, and then he makes a rubbish meal, I got a problem. Then we got a problem. What Frank Lampard's about to learn is that Roman Abramovich ain't nobody's friend. You don't become a billionaire. You don't become one of the richest men in the history of mankind by being romantic. He is not a romantic man. He works under the Russian regime. And trust me, I lived in Russia for 6 months. They do it different. I like it. I like Russia. I would one day I'd like to live there again, but they do it different. I think Frank Lampard must stop romanticizing the past. Romance and business don't work. And Roman and romance are not together. There's a reason why he got in Marina now. Marina looks very much like him. She's brutal. She negotiates and she gets it done. I think she's the next one in terms of an exec. She has been brilliant. Executive of the year so far in England. Lampard has no excuses now. And we know what it's like because Lampard was one of Daddy's favorite children back in the day. He might think that favor is going to come his way. No, sir. So Chelsea to win the league, no chance. I'm out on that, and you can forget that. You can forget that. Breaks my heart to say. All right, let's take some questions before I finish off on the last segment. Tabo Badi says, no, Mbulelo. You were praising the German system over talent. You said, let the people know what you think now. Listen, system over talent, absolutely. And by Germans, I mean, I prefer the German league setup. So if you don't know what happened in the league, so a lot of people aren't aware of this. In the Bundesliga, about 20 years ago, they all decided, the DFB decided, if you want to play in the German league, everybody's playing 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. So if you look at the German league, every team plays one of two formations, 3-5-2, 3-4-3. And that was to say everything is about the Mannschaft, right? Everything is about the German national team in their world. So no coaches can come in there and I want to play a flexible 3-1-4-2, whatever. That doesn't happen in Germany. You play 3-5-2, 3-4-3, and you give it a talent. So in all of their academies there, by the way, all the kids, even if the teams are losing 10-0, they are taught play out from the back. We don't worry about that in development. We don't worry about results in development. We worry about teaching systems. So for me, when I say system over talent with the Germans, and I totally have always said that, and it's why they're successful, is that they're worried big picture, right? So even whether it's about the national team or not, really what they mean is Bayern Munich. It's built for Rimmenigge. We know what they mean. So I've been out on international football forever. I don't watch international football. I don't care about international football. So the Germany-Spain thing, who cares? Like, give me the World Cup, maybe. Give me the World Cup, maybe. And be honest, do you think Germany cares about... I thought it was a friendly, but I see it's the UEFA blah, blah, nonsense cup. Come on. Joachim Low, he'll be all right. Don't you worry. And also, who cares? I want to win Euros and I want to win the World Cup. Don't give me this. Yeah, he's probably building a new team. I mean, there's calls now. Jerome Boateng should come back. Müller should come back. It's a new era. It's a new era. Germany will be fine. Don't you worry. Every league now is littered with their best talent. And you got to be honest. Once all the Bayern Munich kids are back, Goretzka, of course, with the injury, Kimmich will come back. They'll be fine. Because it's Euros at the end of the year. I bet Joachim Low is in the semi-final, the final of that, while Spain will be out pretty quickly. They are no good. So, I mean, whatever. Aston Villa beat Liverpool 7-2. I put another, for me, it's a friendly. Although Will I be watching Euros? You better believe I will not. It is international football. It's unbelievably boring stuff. I might watch the final. Tabo says, Martial was fantastic against Portugal, playing as a number 10. Ollie better be watching. He's got so many touches in the opposition box during the first half. He didn't score, granted. However, he was fantastic. Well, I didn't see it, but again, international football is not the top level of the game. So it doesn't matter to me how you play in international football because that's not the test of quality. I'm sorry. This idea that you have to win a World Cup or Euros or nonsense. The best level of the game is the English Premier League. The second best is the Champions League. International football's... So, Tabo, I hear you. You're probably looking for hope as a Man United fan. Martial's finished. Let it go. You made a mistake. It's tough for Man United fans to understand. You made a mistake. Let it go. Put all of your cards in on Haaland now. All of the cards. If United don't get Haaland, because Martial, you've tried on the left, you've tried him on the right, you've tried him at the attacking mid, you've tried him at striker. He's not good enough for Man United. He's not good enough for Man United. Listen, Olivier Giroud is going to get the most goals in French history. Are you going to tell me he's better than Thierry Henry? Who cares about international sport? It's this idea that playing for your country is the highest level. Once again, I've just told you, romance and business aren't the same thing. Don't romanticize international sport just because we grew up watching it that way. It's not 1986 and Maradona winning the World Cup. International sport it's dwindling. It's dwindling because it's run by, with no due respect, a generation that knew a different world. A generation that knew a different world. It's a new time now. It's a new time. You can't monetize international football. You just cannot. It is such a tiny market. Like, I can only care so much about Croatia's first team, and then it's over. Like, you can't sell Croatia's first team to Nigerians. You certainly can with Man United. So, the Martial thing, sorry, I want to go with you, Tabo. I want to have some hope for Man United fans, but he's done. Like, you made a mistake. Move on. It's okay to say you made a mistake, but he is not. Listen, let me tell you how I know you made a mistake. When you got Wayne Rooney, right? Within 2 games, you were like, oh, that's our guy. When you got Dimitar Berbatov, it wasn't like you had to wait for him. And often it's a personality thing. Dimitar Berbatov, you saw straight away with that first touch. You're like, oh, that's a United number 9. Robin Van Persie took 15 minutes. I mean, Robin Van Persie had a glass of orange juice at Carrington. And they're like, oh, that's our guy. You're like, oh, okay. All right, that's what it's supposed to be. Anthony Martial needs to be babysat and tolerated, and we have to look for hope in a meaningless international friendly. If you're Man United's number 9, you need to be that dog. What I've always said, right? If I have to wonder whether you're world-class or not, you're not. If there's any debate about world-class, is he good enough, isn't he good enough? If I have to debate that, you're not good enough to be at Manchester United. Think of every great number 9. Andy Cole. Listen, Andy Cole, just the way he walked into the dressing room, you're like, oh, okay, that's a United number 9 right there. You shouldn't be looking for reasons to like a United number 9, right? You really should be looking for reasons to critique him because he should be so good. He should be ticking every box, right, to be a Man United player. Cole, Van Nistelrooy, Rooney, Berbatov, Van Persie. Hello? So, come on. No, stop. The international football is third on the tier. We must be very clear about this. Premier League is king. Champions League is second. International football is third. And by Premier League, I include La Liga, La Liga's big boys, Serie A's big boys. The top leagues are the best version of the sport. Just like the NBA is the best version of the sport, the Olympic level of basketball is far lower. So some people argue America could send some of their college teams. You send that Duke team to the Olympics and they'd place top 8. Olympic level basketball is not the top level. Don't let your romance get in the way of the truth, right? In stats, if you've done stats, or if you're an accountant, or if you're in the sciences, substance over form. Tell the whole story. Don't just tell the story that you see. Right? Because what you need to do with numbers and business, this is why romance has to go out the window, and I think Frank Lampard will learn. If you want to be successful, you have to get romance out the window, because what you got to do is massage and torture and boil the numbers. You got to boil the numbers. What does it really mean? Olivier Giroud is going to be the top goal scorer for France. What does that really mean? Does that mean he's now better than David Trezeguet, Sylvain Wiltord, Thierry Henry, Michel Platini? Is it because if you just want to do it that way, then okay, international football matters. But I'm sorry, you made a mistake. Move on. Martial, done. And we're moving on. Tabo, I try and give people hope, but on the Martial one, I'm afraid. Martial, Pogba, Maguire, and Shaw, move on. You made mistakes. It's okay. And the longer it takes you to move on, by the way, the longer you're going to be a Europa League club. It's going to be another Europa League year for Man United. Too many weak-minded beta males. I know we live in a world now where everybody wants to be nicey and toxic masculinity. I've been in change rooms. You want to win, get some dogs in there. You don't win with talent, right? Talent takes you over the top. You have to say that. But you don't even get in the picture without substance. You got to have character. You got to have those boys. You got to, as the Dallas Cowboys say, we them boys. They aren't them boys right now, but it's a great saying in Dallas. They say, we them boys. None of the Man United core, none of the most expensive players, including Martial. It's clear now. Listen, you were the most expensive teenager. When Wayne Rooney was the most expensive teenager, you're like, that's that dog. That's the guy at Man United. You're like, whew, we're going to win with him. And you did. How many titles was it? 6. Roy Keane, we break the British transfer record. We're going to win with him. Anthony Martial, you break the transfer record for a youngster, the most expensive teenager in the world. And all you've done since Martial has arrived, by the way, all you have done is make excuses for him. If you're a Man United fan and you're honest with yourself, yes, but he's not a 9, he's a 10. No, you're not. If he plays off the left, he's like Henry. Yeah, but his finishing is... Name the time as a United fan you had to make a single excuse for Wayne Rooney's character and attitude. Name the single time you had to make an excuse, look for an excuse for Carlos Tevez, for Dimitar Berbatov, for Andy Cole. Not once. Dwight York. Not once did you ever say, yeah, but he's unlucky because, yeah, for York and Cole, they're the same player, so they get in each other's way. Not once. It's Man United. Listen, 2 options. Excuses or solutions. One of those gets you fired. Anthony Martial's he's been heavy on the one side of that. I'm sorry, man. I'm out on Martial. Listen, Martial, Shaw, Maguire, Pogba. You want to be successful, they got to go. But people are too romantic. I don't believe in romance. One thing, and I hold it in my personal life, my friends will tell you this, I will move on from anyone. I move on from people all the time. I move on. I'm not a hoarder. I don't keep stuff. Light life. Right? You want to be successful? Elon Musk, what does he do? Go and read the story about Elon Musk and his staff rotation. You want to work? Stay. Pay you, and you work 24/7, and he forces his scientists to sleep at the office. Get it done. Martial, we can't be babysitting you at Manchester United. PSG, Arsenal, these smaller clubs, we'll babysit you. Well, that's why Moise Keane is having the time of his life. Neymar, having the time of his life. Why? Because they'll look for excuses. He goes into hotel rooms and does nonsense. We'll look after that. It's Man United. There has never been a time. I never heard a time Fergie was babysitting Paul Scholes. Not once. Stop telling me Martial's playing well. You're at Man United. Playing well, being world-class at Man United, right? When I grew up, that was the baseline. Okay, now what extra characteristics do you bring? Because Paul Scholes was world-class, right? Yeah. But he also gets you goals. He also gets you assists. He's also brilliant at free kicks. He also is a great libero. He can also play the number 8. He can also play the number 10. And then also he can connect the game no matter where he's from. And then he's maybe the best British passer of his generation. Okay. So world-class player. You've got all the attributes, first touch, whatever. Okay. What do you do extra? Not making excuses. Ryan Giggs. Probably Bale, Giggs, it's close. Right? But you got the case, you got the pace, you got the crossing. What else do you have? I'm a dog. Ryan Giggs says, I'll drop back to left back. I'll 10 men. Don't you worry, Fergie. I got you. Listen, we're going to win the treble. I'm going to be a huge part of that. We're down to 10 men against the Arsenal. Don't worry about it. I got you, Fergie. Me and my furry chest, we're gonna run the whole length of the football field, and we're gonna make football history. Character. Ryan Giggs says, I don't need excuses. I'm the guy. I'm at Man United. Anthony Martial, full of excuses. And listen, character will define outcome. Character. This is my problem with Jack Grealish. Anthony Martial, Jack Grealish, same WhatsApp group. Character defines outcome. I know people like him. He's got that lifestyle, beautiful wife. Don't give me that. I've seen enough. I don't like making excuses for people, and I don't like victims. All right, let's move on. VAR, huh? VAR. So let me tell you the problem with VAR. This will be short, sharp, quick. And I've said it from the beginning. If you've been listening to the podcast, I said, don't put VAR in football at all. I don't want goal line technology. I don't want offside. But okay, we're here now. Here's the problem, is that people make this error all the time. Correlation is not causation. And causation, by the way, shouldn't lead to correlation. So it works both ways. It's a fallacy. It's a judgment error. So you can go and Google correlation is not causation. People say, yes, it works in the NFL. It works in rugby. Look at cricket. Technology. Come on. It's 2020. Let's move forward with the times. Hey, that's what these people sound like. That's what people sound like. New is always better, remember. That's what the youngsters tell me. Rubbish. Listen, VAR sucks for one reason in football. Football's not cricket. It's not rugby. Stoppages are built into cricket and rugby, right? It's a part of the package. How's that? All right, let's go upstairs. How's that? Go to the third umpire for the run out. Listen, the light's not so good. Umpires go and confer. Tea break. Drinks break. Batsman gets hit on the glove. Stoppages are built into it. Rugby, scrums, lineouts. All of these are between 30-second and 2-minute stoppages all the time. They're built into the game, and they are built into the what the philosophers call the phenomenology. A big word. I just Googled it before I came on here, but it's the phenomenology, right, of the game. That is to say that let's not think about it. So phenomenology is you don't think about it. It's just what you observe. You enjoy something for just what you observe. So you enjoy rugby. You're like, okay, line out, good stuff. Give your pack some time to rest. Blah, 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 blah. It's built into the game. In football, the sale of football, the core tenet of football is ebb and flow. That is it. That's why even throw-ins we think are a bad idea. That's why people love action football. Keep the ball in, let's play, and it's end to end. That's the difference. Causation, right, is not correlation, and correlation shouldn't lead you to causation. Here's my problem with VR is this. It's still down to human interpretation with the replays. So it's not like there is a yes or no. In cricket, the difference is his bat is either over the line or it's not, and he's out or in. That's it. But with the tackle and, red card, not red card, it's still, is his foot up? Is there aggression? Is there intent? These are all human judgment calls. Let the ref make that call. He's right. The ref's got the best view in the house, in the world, in fact. And if he gets it wrong, here's the next point. By the way, a huge part of football, I don't want to speak for other sports, right? There's no sport in the world as professional as football and NFL. But a huge part of being a football fan, a part of the product, the great Jerry Jones, the greatest marketer in sporting history, says, you've got to have an appetite for ambiguity. Can't get the Southern drawl, but he says, you got to have an appetite for ambiguity. And then he goes on to say, is human frailty makes the sport. And what he means by human frailty, Jerry often speaks in codes, is that when people make mistakes, it's great for the sport because what do? Talk shows are on it Mondays to Fridays. The ref is this, the ref is that. And the most important part for me as a football fan, there is nothing greater. Monday morning, we get to the office, the water cooler talk. He was offside. That was a red. No, it wasn't. Howard Webb loves Man United. That's a huge part of the ecosystem that is sport. Don't take that away from us. Don't take that away from us as football fans for VAR's sake. So VAR, I'll give you what? I'll give you offside. I'll give you goals. That's it. Take it away from the rest. Leave it in the ref's hands. Otherwise, why do we still have a ref out there? I don't get it. Let a drone ref, and you just have a whistle on the drone. You got the spider cam over above. We've got lots of solutions now for cameras that can follow. You got the one on the sideline. If it's a foul, just blow the whistle. You don't need the ref to judge a foul. We can do that with a camera. It makes no sense to me. Don't take away the water cooler moments. As fans, we have so little. There is no greater thing. Internet threads now. And, the next space to own is the conversation space of football. And we haven't even gotten started as a world in terms of exploring that. You've seen how well AFTV have done, the United Stand. The digital space is just getting started. The traditional media is losing traction because they don't understand how to capture that conversation. It's why AFTV is the biggest sports digital company in the world right now. They're certainly the biggest. Is they capturing that space? It's a massive space because fans now, in order to get your clients to be with you, they must feel enfranchised. Football fans know football better than most pundits, all pundits. Because, by the way, let me just tell you something. This idea that just pundits that have played know the game better than fans, nonsense. Because you know what happened is when you're a player, you just know your own team. When you're a coach, you just know your own team and the next team you're playing. Football fans watch everything. They see different shapes. There's now YouTube breakdowns. Information's readily available. So VAR is an absolute mess because it's taking away from the most important thing, the fan experience. It's an absolute disaster. Don't take the ebb and flow out of football, and don't take Monday morning cooler talk away from me as a football fan. Those are my thoughts on VAR. Offside goals. All right, I'll give you that. We're there now. Listen, there's no going back in life. All right, there's no going back in life. We're here now. You're not getting FIFA to change. IFAB, who make the rules, they're not going to change. It's a mess. VAR is a huge, huge mess. And you shouldn't be trialing it in the Premier League. How are they making worse decisions with VAR? You're making worse. It's because interpretation is still in it. Listen, you've been in the same room. You've been in the same movie theater as people. You've watched the same movie and you've interpreted scenes completely differently, right? When you see it, people are different. If you leave it up to interpretation, you're going to get different decisions. I mean, there are red card tackles I've seen, and I just think to myself, what is going on here? VAR, terrible. I'd love to know what people think, but it's what is it adding to the game? Goals, offside, yes. Those are the two, because that's nice. You know why? Cut and dry. You're offside or you're not. And stop complaining about, his arm, whatever. Listen, people, it measures from the shoulder, so you can score. The Sadio Mane one was offside. Like, his shoulder is, whether it's an inch offside. Just offside. If you can score with your shoulder, Mane was offside. Stop crying. That wasn't a bad decision. That's cut and dry. Technology doesn't make mistakes. People do. So I just don't get it. VAR, get rid of it. Right? I can't be the only one that thinks this. Offside, goals, that's clear. It's a goal or it's not. It's offside or it's not. I'm done. And we are done for today. Could have been anywhere tonight with anybody. And you chose to be with us. Remember, if you are one of the young people that like to listen to them podcasts, by the end of this month, we will have our full catalog ready to go. Ready to go. So wherever you get your podcasts, remember to go and subscribe. The MKT Show. By the way, if you like the show, just before you log off, remember to push the thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. Otherwise, we will be back on the morrow. You could have been anywhere tonight with anybody. You chose to be with me, Cliff Central Sport. I'm MKT. He's G Cliff. We are the hell out of here.